Welcome to the expert portion of the show. Part of the show where we examine those three little words that men find oh so hard to say. I don't know. Joining me, Uncle Red, in this portion of the show is his good friend, Mr. Ranger Gourd. Welcome, Ranger Gourd. Okay, letter reads as follows. Dear experts. I have just been bitten by a snake. I'm not sure if it is a poisonous one, and I am hoping that you experts could tell me. The snake has long yellow stripes and is sharp at one end. Please hurry, as I am in...
Is that it?
Well, there's more, but it gets all scribbly.
Red and Harold, there's no use answering that letter. The venom from that particular breed of snake can drop even a full-grown birch. The person that wrote it probably used up their last ounce of strength licking the stamp to write that.
Just like a birch as in tree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, snakes and trees aren't natural enemies. They don't normally fight. But if the tree were to attack first, the snake will bite back and kill the tree.
Even if the tree stands perfectly still?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Red. I've seen a lot of strange things during my 18 years up at Fire Watchtower 13. But when you first see a tree and a snake battle to the death, you think you're seeing things. You know, you think it's a trick of light or maybe one of those strange mushrooms you just ate. But when it happens every day, day after day, or if a tree were to come after you, you better believe it's real, buddy. I just wish I had a camera when it was happening. Or even a pencil.
Or a girlfriend.
No, actually, Ranger Gourd, by the description of this snake, it just sounds like a typical garter snake.
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
I don't think there's anything to worry about. It's probably just a joke, you know.
And what about the birch, Harold? Huh? What about the birch?
Yeah, Harold.
Red, Harold, everyone, this is an excellent lesson. Think of a snake as a rope. A rope without legs and not available in hardware stores. A lot of people have died at the end of a rope. A lot of people have died at the end of a snake. Think about it. I did. For 5 months one winter. Oh, yeah.
Remember, folks, snakes are just as afraid of you as we are of Ranger Gourd.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the expert portion of the show. That part of the show where we examine those three little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. True, eh? Okay. Well, joining me, Uncle Red, on the expert portion of the show today is a very good friend of his, right out of his tree, Ranger Gourd. And our letter today is from a viewer in North Bay, Ontario, and she writes, Dear experts, la la la. Last year, my husband was camping and got struck by lightning. He's wondered if his memory would be affected, but in fact...
Oh, fiddlesticks! Sticks of fiddle, that's fiddlesticks. Take that fiddle and stick it.
See, if anything, lightning improves your memory. Your brain uses electricity, and lightning is electricity, so there's a lifetime of thinking in one lightning bolt.
So how can that not improve your memory? Huh? Huh?
She goes on to say, in fact, his memory is about the same, but he's noticed a tendency to violent mood swings. Have any of you outdoorsy type people noticed that, and can you tell me what to expect from here on in?
Yes?
So, Gourd, you're up in the watchtower for 18 years. I guess you must have got dinged a couple of times by lightning.
Oh,
Boy, Red, I tell you, if I had $1 for every time I had my batteries charged. What's that supposed to mean, huh? What's that look about? Huh? Was this old lightning thing some kind of a joke?
No.
Huh?
No. It's no joke. We're not joking. It's a legitimate letter. It's a legitimate letter.
Okay, then.
So, would you say lightning has affected you at all, Gord, in any way?
Oh, of course it did, Red.
Yeah.
It actually improved my personality. I used to be very shy, and I became a forest ranger so I could go up there and meet people and get over my shyness. But I found that after my first lightning strike, it was actually easier to make friends up there.
Okay, Gord, you were up there all by yourself, you know.
Oh, no, I wasn't. No way. Not in my mind. No, there was a whole bunch of us up there. Great guys. And gals. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of things. Travel, politics, bacon. But you know, I had a job to do, so every time there was a violent lightning storm, I'd stand on top of my tower and hold my lightning rod up high and scare away the lightning.
Well, I really don't know how to answer this lady's question about the lightning strikes other than to suggest maybe firstly, stay away from forest watching.
I would say stay away from Ranger Gord.
You smell bacon?
That's you.
Oh.
Expert portion of the show. This is the part of the show where we like to examine those 3 little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. That's a truism, isn't it? All righty. And joining me, Uncle Red, in the expert portion of the show today is Mother Nature's boyfriend himself, Ranger Gourd.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be back in the real world. Or even here.
Okay, our letter goes like this. It's addressed to our experts. It says, "Dear experts, how are you?"
Well, actually, I'm a little upset today, ladies and gentlemen, because I lost my favorite pair of sunglasses. But you know, it's not the end of the world. No way.
Ranger Gourd.
That doesn't happen until the year 2015. It's in November, on a Thursday, and it's after lunch, okay? So you can't get too upset when you lose something. The thing is, you have to remember to replace the thing that you lost with something new. And the real tricky part is, you have to remember to replace the same thing with the same thing. In other words, you can't replace an old pair of sunglasses by buying a new waffle iron, okay? There it is. Excuse me, I think a fuse blew. Oh, no, it's okay, someone's got it.
Our letter continues. I was hoping you could analyze a dream for me. I have this recurring dream that I am Ranger Gourd.
Really? That is very weird, because sometimes I have that exact same dream.
So you dream you're a Ranger Gord?
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Are you sure it's a dream, Ranger Gourd? Because you have to realize that you're Ranger Gourd.
Well, I mean, I think it's a dream. It starts off with these 2 really foxy-looking women. Ooh, baby, and they're looking at me, smiling, and they start walking right towards me.
Oh, this is definitely a dream.
I've had that dream. I've had that dream. I know that dream. I know I'm having that dream right now.
Really?
Yes. It's a good dream.
Oh. They put on snowmobile suits and do the Macarena for 4.5 hours.
Oh, baby.
It's a little different than mine. Well, at least he's not having nightmares.
Oh, no, with Ranger Gord, the scary part doesn't start till he wakes up.
The expert portion of the show. This is the part of the program where we like to examine those 3 little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. That's good. And joining me, Uncle, today is Ranger Gourd. Righty, okay, here we go. Letter number 1. Dear experts, Ranger Gourd is the best person on your show. He is down to earth yet uncommonly brilliant. All the women in Possum Lake must be crazy for him.
Gourd doesn't need anybody to be crazy for him.
I think there's more there, Harold.
There is no one better than Ranger Gourd on the show, is there?
No, I don't think so. I doubt it. Red, what's your feeling on that?
Who wrote that letter, Harold? Okay, not really the perfect crime, Gourd. Maybe you shouldn't have signed it.
You know, that's not necessarily my letter, Red. Some deranged person may have wrote it and put my name to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
The expert portion of the show. The part of the show where we explore those 3 little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. Trey, excellent. Okay, joining me, Uncle Red, in the expert portion of the show this week is a man who's been in the force for over 18 years, Ranger Gourd.
Hi, everyone. I missed you.
Okay, all right. Okay, our first letter goes as follows. Dear experts, my husband and I like to go camping, especially since the recession. I noticed that the campgrounds are getting destroyed by thoughtless campers whom I've never seen once at our church. What are your feelings on this matter?
All right, well, the thing with garbage is you don't want it all concentrated in the one spot. So what I do is I just put it all up on the roof of the van. And I make sure I leave my campsite at night.
Well, Red, that's thoughtless. That's criminal. It's an assault on Mother Nature.
Well, I'm just trying to get even for what she did to you.
No, Red, Harold is right. Folks, when you're camping, you're living in some animal's home. You know, it could be a squirrel, it could be a chipmunks, you know, and they have personalities and feelings. Whew. Especially the chipmunk. Anyway, no, so you can't just dump garbage in their home. Oh, and you can't eat a chipmunk, because it'll be months before the other chipmunks will forgive you. True.
Well, that's certainly good advice.
Yeah. So when you leave a campsite, you have to make sure that you leave it exactly the way you found it. Exactly, you know. Pick up any bottles or napkins. If you dropped any breadcrumbs, pick all them up. And of course, you have to douse the fire properly, and after it's doused, you picked up all the little pieces of wood, you put them together, you form them into a log, and rebuild the tree.
How the heck does that work, Gord? Because the logs, most of them are burned away at that point.
Right, of course, you have to use filler. And the filler is made out of pine cones, spruce needles, and muskrat milk.
More good advice. Yeah. Maybe next time when Ranger Gourd's here, he can actually tell us how you milk a muskrat.
Well, certainly not on a first date. Yeah, I'll never do that again.
Third portion of the show where we examine those 3 little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. Excellent. Okay. This week, joining Uncle Red in the expert portion of the show, his very best friend in the whole wide room, ferry boat captain, Mr. Hap Shaughnessy. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, our viewer writes, dear experts, my husband says that everything on television is a load of crap. I prefer to use the term a load of bad stuff. Do you think television is a load of bad stuff, too?
Well, I sure do. It's all crap, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, everything except this show, right, Uncle Red? Not this show.
All right, you know, if you say so, Harold.
How about you, Mr. Shaughnessy? What do you think? The television's a load of bad stuff, too?
Yeah. Yes, I do, Harold, yeah. Yeah, it's all crap. And it could have been so great. That's what hurts. I'm almost sorry I invented it.
Invented what, huh? Crap?
television. I was going to call it half-a-vision, but I changed my mind when I saw so many of those early pilots and the way they turned out. So everyone was saying, who invented television? And I said, I'll never tell. And then after that, they started calling it Never Television. And then they call it television, and the rest is history.
History in the making, I'd say.
So I washed my hands of the whole thing outside of a brief stint when I took over the Tonight Show from Jack Parr. I don't know, I couldn't stand that Hollywood scene. It was so phony.
Tough for you to stand out in that crowd, I would think.
For the experts portion of the show, where we examine those three little words men find so hard to say. I don't know. Those are the three. Okay, here's our letter. Dear experts, I recently suffered a heart attack and am wondering what I need to do to prevent another one.
Well, I would suggest asking your doctor rather than writing into a show that uses duct tape.
Doctors are idiots.
My doctor says I need to exercise and eat healthy.
Yeah, see? Exercise and eat healthy. Come on.
And this is from the guy who's had 5 heart attacks.
Well, no, I really just one, Red. The others were false alarms. Yeah, the second one was just angina. And the other 3 were just onions.
See? Diet is important. I mean, I think you're supposed to, eat a lot of organic fruits and vegetables and oat bran and roughage.
Well, no, I would never eat anything called roughage.
No, see, I had a doctor that tried to put me on that high fiber stuff, What he didn't take into consideration, so I live in a house with a wife, 7 daughters, and 1 bathroom. Good thing we got a big backyard.
Call me.
Well, I think a little bit of exercise is good. I mean, I heard that somewhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as you just don't go overboard, I mean, I'll tell you what I do. It's when I go out for breakfast, I angle up when I pull into the drive-thru. So I'm about 3 feet away. So what I got to do is I got to stretch right out way over like this, and then I'm fully extended before I can grab the donuts, right? So it's very good for your cardiovascular health.
Okay, I think our viewer needs to consult a nutritionist and a doctor. And probably a psychiatrist if you're going to take advice from these guys.
If you have a heart attack and you got to phone 911, make sure you ask for Roger. He's a great ambulance driver, okay? He's always got a couple of jokes, and if you ask, he'll take off your oxygen and let you have a smoke.
And that was my favorite part of the show, the part where we expose those 3 little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. And now here to prove that once again is my Uncle Red and his best friend in the whole wide world. Oh, okay, Mr. Glenn Braxton. Alrighty, it says here, we got Dear Experts. I am organizing a cookout for all the gang at work, and I am wondering what type of food to prepare and serve. Would you have any hints you would like to pass on?
Well, I always find budget is the main consideration. Let's say we'd have something like a fish fry up at the lodge, and then, of course, nobody catches any. And so we have to augment the menu, and always forces us over budget. And then you get all the whiners who want to know how do hot dogs and macaroni qualify as fish fry. So I just tell the guys, hey, throw some worms in.
Well, you sounded serious at the time.
Well, the most important thing is to find the right man for the job. For your chef, you need to get a welder.
Welder?
Oh, yeah, and a acetylene torch will cook a 12-pound roast in under 4 minutes. And if you got electricity, you can arc weld a whole pig in less than a minute. My brother found that out. He was up in the voltage around the pig pen at the farm. And electricity adds to the presentation of the meal. Yeah, sure, because the little pig's tail straightens right out. And all the hair All the hair all over them stand straight up. But you gotta make sure all your guests are grounded, because if they stick a fork into it...
And now my favorite part of the show, the part where we expose those three little words that men find so difficult to say. I don't know. And here to prove that point is my Uncle Red and his best friend in the whole wide world. Today is Mr. Glenn Braxton. Dear experts, for years we have been told that the communists wanted to control the whole world, but it turned out they couldn't even control Bulgaria. Why did the entire communist system collapse, and could the same thing happen to capitalism?
I don't know. I think the reason the communist system collapsed was one word: recreational vehicles. Yeah. You ever seen a Rusky RV? You ever seen Karl Marx driving around in a motorhome?
Oh, no, it wasn't him.
And why not? You see, remember May Day? You see, always on the news. They got those guys up there waving as all the missiles go by and all the tanks go by, but not one RV. You know why? Because they didn't want people to roam around the Soviet Union. No, they didn't want to give them their 4 tons of freedom. That's what it was. Yeah. You got the KGB, you got the USSR, you got RV. Communism fell at the knees of the RV.
Well, thank you, Mr. Braxton, for that interesting insight into global politics.
You show me a society that doesn't have RVs, Harold, and I'll show you a society that's politically and morally and spiritually corrupt.
The Winnebago domino theory.
And now it's that part of the show where we expose the three little words that men find so hard to say. I don't know. And here to prove that point on the expert portion of the show is, of course, my Uncle Red and his good friend, Mr. Glenn Braxton. Alrighty, here we go. Letter number 1. Dear experts, I'm a bit overweight, but then who isn't?
Oh, I'm not.
Not me, huh?
No, you know,
Look at big bones.
that's all that is.
Yeah, working
with that.
Yeah, it goes on. I'm interested in shedding a few pounds. What would you say is the fastest, easiest way to lose weight? Good question.
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, my 3 oldest girls are always on some sort of diet or something. And I don't know why, though. I mean, you've seen them. I mean, they're not really overweight at all, are they?
No. They're slender.
They're svelte.
Yeah.
They're svelte.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, your oldest daughter, she's like Christina Applegate and Michelle Pfeiffer and Cindy Crawford all just rolled into one.
Well, you know, Harold, I could introduce you to.
No, thanks, though. I mean, you know, she's right out of my league, you know. She's much bigger, older. Then it's not just right.
Well, you know, she did say that she had a little crush on you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
A crush, Harold. Think about it.
Oh, all right, Mr. Bryson, what about the diets you were saying?
Oh, yeah, right. My motto is watch what you eat, you know? What I mean is, well, you gotta cut out things. You gotta cut out cookies, you gotta cut out ice cream, you gotta cut out Danish pastry, pies. You know those pumpkin pies, you know, right around Thanksgiving, they're loaded up with whipped cream, you know, and they're just nice ones. But they're just right there at the dinner table. And they got a cherry on it, you know? A cherry crumble pie. My oldest daughter, Lisa, makes this cherry crumble pie. I swear, it's that thick, and it's got just stuff falling off the top of it, and you're just looking at it, and man, it's just... Oh. Well, that's tough.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, viewer.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.